How do you feel about Mary as a character?
I was absolutely privileged and completely honored to get the chance to be Mary, and every day was just praying to God that I wasn't fucking it up. When you get a character like that, it's so special and so rare, and the girls are so passionate and so in love with her, and the crew is so passionate and so enthusiastic, and everyone's doing their utmost, and then it all lands on my shoulders, and I'm like, fuck me, I better not screw this up. I was equally as in love with her as everyone else is, and to try to do her justice was scary. It was wonderful, but I just really didn't want to let her down.
What do you think is the kind of core of Mary?
Well, the core of Mary is like the core of anyone else. She's a human being, right? So, she's strong, she's smart, she's independent, she's strange, she's weird, she's awkward, she's vulnerable, she's everything. I mean, she's so multidimensional. I mean, the core of her is just like anyone else. It's very, very complex. And I think she's fairly original as far as what I've seen on film from a female character, especially in, well, I don't think American Mary is a horror movie, but in terms of what someone might classify as horror, I think she is very original. And
how did she get in her skin, and did it just come, or?
It's a process. The process for me when I'm doing something like this that I'm really truly passionate and crazy about. I mean, when I first read it, I read it 3 times in the same day. I read it first on my BlackBerry, whole 180 pages, because it was just fascinating. And then I sat with it for about 8 months because just to get the funding to actually get it rolling. I didn't really. I've always hoped, but I didn't really truly believe we'd ever make it. So I probably didn't look at the script for about 6 months, and it just sort of sank in subconsciously, I think. And I was always very passionate about it, but I wasn't going to obsess over it because I didn't know if we were going to make it, or I didn't want to be terribly disappointed and crash. So when it actually got time to make it, we didn't have time for rehearsals, which is great because I fucking hate rehearsing. It kills all the
original spark.
Yeah, and just, I feel like intuition and, I mean, human beings don't, have a process of how they're going to think or feel or what. I mean, you have to understand the character, let it sink in, and then just fucking do it. And that way it's organic and it's real, and if I had any questions, of course, Syl would have an hour-long answer for every one of them, to the point where it's like, yeah, I got it, okay, shut up, just stop. And then just the environment that we were in, that was created by the girls' energy, their encouragement. They set up this environment for us that was so, and it's very scary when you go in with filmmakers who have written it and directed it and are so close and are so obsessed with the character. They oftentimes have this complete image of the way that character is in their head, and you can never really live up to it, and they get angry at you for it, sort of, and I would do things that wasn't necessarily in this, and they would love it, and they would be like, oh my god, I never thought of that, and they were so encouraging. So we were allowed, within the parameters of what we were given, we were really allowed to bring our own creativity to it and not just have to fit into their box of what they thought it should be. So that was really it was just very humbling. Yeah, it was just amazing.
An example of that, if you can.
That they trusted me enough to let me they gave me Mary. They let me have her, and that was their baby, especially Syl. It was their child, and they let me have her and have control over her and do things with her, and it was absolutely just an honor, basically. It was an experience.
What bit of the film are you most proud of?
I'm proud of the girls. I'm proud of the twins. I'm proud of everything they did. I'm proud of the script that they wrote. I'm proud of the way it looks. I'm proud of, and I had nothing to do with any of that, but I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the way that they pulled it off and they managed it. I mean, I have, favorite scenes and favorite bits and stuff, but for proud of? Oh, well, I think my favorite scene is the scene after the thing happens to Dr. Grant, and Mary's in the strip club and having a conversation with Lance over milkshakes. Oh. I thought that was the sweetest, because all this crazy shit has happened, and then she's already gone quite crazy at that point, and it's like the craziest you see her right before that scene, and then she has this moment of like self-questioning and self-doubt, and this man, who is a big scary man, is the sweetest thing to say to her and makes her feel so much better and more confident about herself. And I just thought it was such a lovely little breathing moment, and he was so sweet. And there's a tendency you could very easily, once she hits a certain point, just play the whole rest of it like crazy and, you know, just like sexy, crazy chick. And that moment was going, you go, oh right, I remember that Mary from the beginning of the movie. She is still a human being, and she's still, you know, a person with feelings and a soul, and that was, yeah, that's why it's my favorite.
In terms of your character and the subject matter, did you do any research into the body mod scene?
Well, I'm a bit of a chicken. I can't even really watch horror movies because I get scared. I have like dreams and shit. And so I think it was after Sylv said, whatever you do, don't Google 7-sized penises, and then I did. And then I was like, I am not. So anything you want me to know about this from now on, you need to filter and you need to bring to me and make sure I'm not going to be totally traumatized like I was that time. So, and we had great consultants, Russ Fox and Church Body Modification. They would explain everything and answer any questions that we had. And of course they were obsessed and they know everything about it now. And I was I got the PG sort of filtered version. So I knew enough, but I'm a bit squeamish with things, so oddly enough.
Has it changed the way you feel about anybody?
Well, I mean, I think if you have to pick a moral of the story, it's to be empathetic to people and to think twice before you judge somebody on how they look. Every single person in this movie, every single character ends up being completely different than you originally thought. And the most normal, well-adjusted, happy people are the body mod people. The most fucked up people are the people that society generally accepts, you know, as upstanding citizens. So, you know, it's the whole twist in that, and that's, I mean, yeah, you can't judge anybody on how they look or what quote unquote bizarre or strange things they might be into or they might want to express.
I think it's interesting how, you know, the whole film, you know, based around surgery and people wanting to become better in their eyes, and yet you have this character who changes, you know, their mental state changes rather than physically.
Yeah. Well, and she changes a lot physically, but it's all very superficial. It's all like makeup and her hair. She gets far more severe in her clothes and stuff. But yeah, she changes completely in a different way than everyone else has changed. Sort of realizing what life is really like and how people really are. And preconceived notions just went out the fucking window.
It's incredible because the clothing is very, particularly as she goes on, it's very hard, sort of PVC leather and stuff like that. How did that feel in terms of how you were playing? So I'm assuming it would have constricted you a lot more. At the beginning, you weren't like a negligee thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, as always, when you go into a film, so the clothes and the hair and the makeup really bring it together for you. You really I really felt like Mary. Once I got, you know, the black leather and the gloves and the red lips and the straight hair, I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'm Mary, here we go. Like, I got her, here she is, like, let's do this. And now you feel it, you walk differently, you move differently, you have a different essence about you when you've really come into your character's skin. And that, your character's skin is really, you know, it is superficially your hair and your makeup and your wardrobe. And once you have that, and then you have the story, it's easy. I mean, it's so well written that, you know, it's really not that hard. You know, it's natural, it's organic. You just get in there and you're like, cool, yeah, awesome. It's what it is.
Fantastic. What to you was the significance of having the little bird, the cute little bird?
Originally it was cat. And I'm allergic to cats. Cat was kind of, I didn't want her to be a cat lady anyway. And the girl who plays Beatrice, it was her bird, it was Tiki Bird. And so we were thinking about like, oh well, I guess we won't have a cat. And I was like, no, I really like the idea of a cat, and it would be fine. And they were like, well, we can't get a cat anyway. You can't fucking get cats to do what you want because they're stupid fucking cats. They're like, fuck you, I have a cat, I need to do what you want. And she goes, I have a bird, and it talks. And we're like, what? And Tristan comes back in the morning, she goes, yeah, so I'm sitting around, and my bird's like, action, action. She learned how to say action on sex. She was saying it all the time. But the bird, I was thinking about that today when I was watching it. Everything kind of came together in such a panic. I don't think we really focused on, and Scylla would probably have a really great intellectual, very deep, smart answer for what the bird represented. But the bird was kind of it was like her only friend. The bird was kind of like it was like innocent Mary in a little cage, I thought, you know, and she was well taken care of.
It works perfectly in terms of the whole idea of the cage and everything else. I know it's a lot of the, you know, a lot of time you've got blinds and things on the
she's covered and can't get out, and she's just in there, this little pretty little creature. It's all kind of fucked up, trapped.
Thank you so much.